Hey guys, CrYptOG in for something completely different. Today we're going to look at this DeLonghi stilosa. It is called a stilosa, isn't it? So we've worked out it is a DeLonghi stilosa. It's the most basic model, manual only, with an on switch around there. And we're going to show you how to make a good cup of coffee. Right, let's get started. Switch on, light up here, and you want to make sure the water's full, and the flap for that is up at the back, up at the top, in there. You can just fill it up in here, and there's a spare, a single shot. Don't use that. So what do we need to do? You need to get some coffee beans first, and the handle that comes with it, top comes out, pop that in. It takes 12 grams of coffee, 12 grams, but you can get 14 in there, about, gives you a bit stronger, better hit. So anyway, pop that on there. Coffee out. Which one do you go for? Well, I only ever go for the G14. This is a green monkey from Trading Post. Got a nice strong hit. Let's measure out. $14 grams, 13 grams. The problem is you put too much in the puck and the coffee gets in the machine underside, and you need to clean it. And well, you need to clean it anyway, but every now and again. And you're also going to need a grinder, your choice. I think this one was about 30, 35 quid, something like that. You can pay all sorts of money. It is a burr grinder. There are different types of grinders. Apparently you get a better grind from a burr grinder, and there's a setting on the side here for how fine a ground you have. Now obviously that will affect how the water goes through the coffee, or how quickly it goes through the coffee. So for different beans it affects the speed and the volumes and the science behind it, so you'll have to play around with that. And this is the most important part, a collar. Make it easier to get the coffee in here, because this is such a messy process. Always put a finger over the hole there, because if you're not careful, you end up with coffee ground shot everywhere. I suggest that you do this over the bin. I normally do it over the bin, because I'm making a bloody mess here, that's for sure. Tap it down. You get the coffee level. Then you'll have a little, in with the machine, you get a little damper presser thing. I just flatten the top out. Make sure all the coffee's past the collar, and then carefully remove the collar. Place that, and that's ideal to put the porter filter in to stop you when you press down, when you tamp down, you don't damage the exit, whatever they're called. And then I like to just spread the coffee there a little bit so it's evenly distributed. And then my favorite tool, tamper. This is like an auto pressure tamper. And you want to get that in there, make sure it's level. 1, 2, 3. I like to give it 3 hits. There's a fair amount of pressure in there. And you clean the top off. And then again, another very useful tool is a protector or gauze that goes on the top like that. Again, stops the coffee from getting stuck in the machine at the top. And you will have to order one of those separately. In, handle on, a bit of clean up. Nobody likes a messy worktop, unless you're under 30. Oh no, make it 35. Right, this is my choice at the moment, and it's an IKEA special. I don't know, was it about 300, 290 milliliters, something like that, perhaps in volume. But it's great because it goes underneath there with the drip tray still in. As do these little puppies from Sainsbury's, I think, Habitat. They go in, but that's for if you're a black coffee drinker, I guess, which I'm not. But you can obviously lift the tray out and get bigger. You can get your Bitcoin, the CrYptOG under there. If you really want a bigger cup. You probably need a few more grams of coffee in there though for that. Okay, so we're ready for the coffee part. And just turn to the tab that says coffee, and we normally get a short time whilst the water is building up pressure in the system. It's turned itself off. That's clever. Make sure you get the green light on though before you do this, and but it's normally about 7-8 seconds, and then the water or the fluid starts to come through, and we'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 21, I'll do. Now, this process is completely up to you. The shorter amount of time, the shorter or the smaller the volume of coffee you get, different taste, to longer time, more volume, and but they recommend around about 20 seconds, or at least that's the amount of pressure you get into the coffee, and how you form the puck will affect, as I said, with depending on how finely ground the coffee is. But it's a little bit of trial and error, really, see what taste suits you, really. But I want to make sure you get a nice crema, like that sort of frothiness. I believe it's called a crema. Put that to the side, and then what I like to do is take the portafilter out, remove that, get a bit of a wipe down, and then we want to turn for the milk. We need, don't need one with a thermometer, but ideally, and I'm looking for temperature around about, what is it here, 65 to 70 degrees. Need some milk. It's going to take me like a minute. If you put the kettle on, that's going to fuck the sound in there.
Yeah, can I just quickly?
YouTube at its finest. I'll be back in a minute. This is the freeze-dried option. If you don't mind not having any antioxidants or anything like that, you know all the good stuff, eh? But you know more about that than me. I'll use this time to clean out the portafilter. We're back. Milk. So, I mean, there is a formula. You're supposed to have a certain ratio depending on whether it's a latte or cappuccino, flat white, etc. But I tend to fill my little jug up about halfway up to the junction where the spout starts on the inside. So it's up. In fact, you can see the coloration of the jug from previous. I don't know why I didn't turn that. We want to turn that to steam. Wait for the green light to come on. A few drips from the machine whilst it's doing this. It's good to be prepared. That's what happens with the lighter coloured one. The coffee splashes tend to, you know, more noticeable. So if you're buying a blue or a black one, then you could probably be a bit lazier. But that's the noise that usually indicates that we're ready to go. First time, just there's a little handle on here. You want to squirt that down just to clear out the pipe, and then you want to insert your jug. Insert your jug. Sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? But you want the jug to go right the way up to the top to start off with, at a slight angle. That's the sort of angle, but hey, I mean, you know, just trial and error. You'll get it. And then on. And you're gonna want that kissing sound. And as it's frothing, you want to just slowly pull the jug down as the volume of the milk increases with the air. But not too far that you get the eruption. And you keep steaming the milk until it's too hot, let's say too hot to hold. I tend to take it to that middle temperature point. There we go, beautiful. And then wipe off the spout. Give it a clear out the system. And then we're ready for the next part, the final part, which is a bit of spinning on the milk, and then tap the bubbles out. A bit more spin until we've got a nice consistency in the milk. So we've got milk and coffee ready, and then get a little bit of the crema around make sure it's around the edge, because you want to have some coffee into the middle. Beautiful. And there it is. Clean out your jug. You want to get some of that coffee around the rim, so that when you first drink, you get coffee and not just milk. And turn them off, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Obviously, if it's after 12 o'clock, you can have some chocolate sprinkles. Get yourself some proper chocolate for the sprinkles. Don't really need the cheap chocolate. Enjoy, and just goes to show, you don't need any fancy coffee machine. £100 on the basic manual model is more than sufficient to make a lovely cup of coffee. CrYptOG